Leather expert Martin has been restoring an antique Louis Vuitton trunk that once lived at number 11 Downing Street and belonged to aristocrat and legendary prankster Horace de Vere Cole. After a final polish, it's ready to be returned to his great niece, Elizabeth, and her husband, Simon, at their home in Berkshire.
It's difficult to know what to expect.
I've never actually seen a restored Louis Vuitton box before, certainly something of that age. I suppose, and I've got no idea what to expect, really.
Right, Christmas morning all over again.
Very exciting.
Go on, I'll do one, you do the other, honestly.
Look at that. That is just...
It is, isn't it? Should we see it in all its glory?
OK, off to you.
You can actually use the handle.
Really?
Now. Yeah,
that's quite scary.
You promise? I'll just lift it out. And what do you think of that?
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. You can't... Unbelievable.
Isn't that something to behold?
It is absolutely, totally different.
Rescued from a fire and dulled by time, this 19th century Louis Vuitton trunk was in desperate need of repair. Martin has managed to breathe new life into the leather whilst preserving the all-important Downing Street address on the side. The brasswork has been brought back from dull brown to shimmering gold, and every rivet now boasts the famous maker's name. It's a sympathetic but extensive restoration, and this unique family heirloom is now safely preserved for generations to come.
I have to say, it's blatantly flamboyant, isn't it?
When people buy Louis Vuitton, they buy the name, they buy the reputation. This is quite sedate compared to some of them. And all these labels that you see, which is total part of its history, is preserved, basically. Seeing it now, what do you think Horace would have thought about this now?
Horace would have absolutely loved the attention it's getting. And,
the attention, because he always
yeah.
he was after attention,
yes.
wasn't he?
But he'd be thrilled that it looks like this now. So, I mean, we just can't thank you enough.
No, honestly, it's a joy.
Would really like to return something back inside it, which is Horace's diary.
Journal?
Yes.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, what a fitting end.
What a fitting end.
It's an amazing piece of work, really, and genuine something to treasure and hang on to.
He's done the most fantastic job. And we knew he would do a fantastic job, but this is over and above anything that we could possibly expect it.
Based in Leek, a small town on the edge of the Peak District, Ruth Tappin is an expert gilder with the golden touch. Today she's travelled to Comori in North Wales, where Drew Pritchard is waiting with an item for her to restore.
One of the real joys of doing what I do is you get to go to beautiful places, buy beautiful things, and then you meet the most interesting, skilled and talented people along the way, and Ruth is one of those. Hello.
Drew,
how you doing? Good, thank you. Good, good. Nice to see you.
What have we got?
I've got a...
Ooh, Italian.
It's Italian, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd say it's late 19th century. Let's call it hall lantern.
Yep.
Timber and gesso. It's quite naive. It's quite simplistic in its decoration. I like the shape. It's got all of the things that it should have. It's got sprouting cornucopia, it's got a canthus leaf, it's got plums and pears.
Has there ever been any wires? Has it been electrified?
I think it's just been candlelight its whole life, and I don't think it's had much use. There's nothing for a gas fitting, there's nothing for electrical fitting, and there's very, very minor smoke damage. So I think it's been made, hung, and not really used.
This gilded lantern dates back to the late 19th century and would have once illuminated the hall of a grand Italian villa. It's designed to be hung from the ceiling, with a central candle sitting behind the glazing. The lantern is missing various pieces of carved decoration, and parts of the gilding have worn off completely. All this will need to be replaced if the piece is to be sellable once more.
So what I'd like you to do is put all the pieces back on that we've got. There's a couple of pieces we have.
We've got cherubs' heads.
Got cherubs' heads on there. It's missing. So it's gone, all right?
Oh, quite a bit of gesso coming off here.
Can you put it back to as close as it was to when it was new, but with a little bit of age to it, right? But I do think we need to drop a light into it to make it usable today as an electric light.
Now, some people would want me to regild this. Some people want me to match it. What do you want?
Match.
Right. The hard one.
The hard one.
Thank you.
Sorry. I do like the gold here. See this finish here? Mm-hmm. That colour there and that sort of thing. I like that.
OK.
And I think when they're all regilded, certain things really benefit from that. I think with this and the sort of look of house this is going to go into, they're going to want it to show some age.
Yeah.
A sort of boho, hallway, bedroom, that's where it's going to end up.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, it's worth £1,500. Best case, 2,250. So that's your parameters you need to work to. There's got to be a profit left in it. At the moment, it's worth about £400 or £500, tops. Should we put it in the back of the car? Yeah?
If we must, yeah.
We must.
OK,
we must.
Brilliant. I've got to be careful. If I do too much sanding and too much perfection, I could blow the budget. So, yeah, there's a bit of balance on this one.
A short drive later, and Ruth is back in Staffordshire with the Italian lantern in tow.
So I think my first job is to try and stabilise some of this gesso because it's lifting away and it's going to continue to fall off. I could just flake it all off, but that's more work for me. So if I can save the original by injecting some glue behind, that would be great.
Gesso is the Italian word for plaster, and for centuries has been used to provide a smooth surface for gilding.
Right, so I've got some syringes. I've got this glue. Now, this is actually liquid at room temperature, but it's still too thick to go through the syringes. So what I'm going to have to do is pour some in my little pot. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water. But what I also want is some alcohol. And what'll happen is I'm going to inject the alcohol first, which wets the whole surface underneath the gesso, and then I'm going to put the glue in because that'll help the glue flow. So just basically I'm wetting it with the alcohol, and then the glue then wants to follow that alcohol. If I did it dry, the glue would just sit on the top. I've literally got to now go round everywhere where I see these gaps.
The glue will take 24 hours to fully dry, but it's only the first step in what promises to be a tricky restoration. In Dorset, metalworker Ted has fabricated the body of a copper cockerel to sit on top of the lightning vane. He's now turned his attention to creating a set of stylised feathers for the tail by putting raised lines into copper with a wheeling machine.
Right, so what we've got these two soft rubber wheels on the bottom. Now, what I need to do is literally just push it through, following the lines around here. Now, it's quite hard work to do, but because of the rubber wheel, what it doesn't do is you don't get these sharp edges where the two get close. I do use the wheeling machine quite a bit. It's like probably as much as any other machine in the shop. It's certainly be lost without it. Go on, in you go, in you go. That's it. Now, that's the initial pattern put in, but what it's done, it's sort of buckled it and it's distorted it. So What I need to do now is we need to go over to the surface plate. I need to dress down the bits that I'm not happy with, flatten it out, and then we can think about cutting the excess material off. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. I think we'll get the other bit done and then marry the two together and see what we look like.
At her workshop in Leek, Gilda Ruth is restoring a 19th century Italian lantern for dealer Drew. She's firmed up the flaking gesso and now needs to mould the new cherub's head to replace the one that's missing.
What I'm going to do is mould the nicer of the two heads that we've got left. So I'm going to put some mould on there and then put some compo in. So this is a two-part mould. So this is a little bit by eye. So I've got to mix all this till I've got a solid yellow. So this is really simple, but I do have to make sure I don't have any air gaps. So I've just got to really press it in. That's it.
The mould is made from a quick-setting silicone putty, and after 20 minutes, it's ready to be peeled off the head.
Right, there we go. That should be a good mould. So I'm going to put some compo in here so we can recreate the missing head.
Compo, short for composition, is a traditional mouldable resin which is soft when warm and hardens as it reaches room temperature.
So all the ingredients in here are natural. You've got animal glue, tree resin, whiting, which is chalk, and it's designed to be pressed into moulds. I'm really pressing it in, make sure there's no air pockets. Right, okay, there we go.
The compo takes half an hour to set in the mould, after which it can be carefully prized out.
It's going to be a bit awkward to get out. Oh, look at that, it's a boy.
With a steel rod for support, the cherub's head is bonded to the frame with more warm compo.
Right, so I've got my nice warm compo, and so I just get a pinch of that. I'm going to try and get some in that hole. Right, are we lined up best we can that way? I think he'll do.
The cherub's head matches perfectly, but this lantern will be defined by the gilded finish still to be applied. In Staffordshire, Gilda Ruth has been patiently waiting for the new moulding to dry on a traditional Venetian lantern. It's been wired to receive electric lighting and is now ready to be re-gilded.
So I've got here 23.75 carat. That is what would have been used originally on here. It's very, very thin, so I'm controlling it with my breath. I'm using quite small pieces because this decoration curves in all sorts of directions, so the smaller the piece of gold, the better. So I take some cotton wool and I've got a load of air bubbles and little creases. So the cotton wool, I press down and straight up again. And that gives me a firm attachment. This is when you start to see it back to how it originally was, and yeah, that's always really satisfying.
Once the gold leaf is dry, it's time for Ruth to head back to North Wales and return the restored lantern to Drew.
So what I've said to Ruth is, let yourself into the other warehouse, hang it up, I want the full impact. And I'm hoping to see it in there, shining, lit up, looking fabulous. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing? Wow. Wow. We've done it again. Absolutely wonderful. What a beautiful colour. Right, okay. Let's turn the lights on. Have a look at it.
Okay.
Marvellous, look at that. It's really lovely. It's this finish you've put on there. It's a lot more subdued and subtle.
Well, I've kept a lot of the original gilt as much as I could, fixed the gesso, replaced, I think there was a cherub's head and a couple of these scrolls.
Yeah. It just looks great. Do you know what? It looks like you've not really touched it.
That's what I want. That's what I want, thank you.
Perfect.
When Ruth first received this Italian lantern, it was missing key parts of its decoration, and the antique gold leaf was wearing away. Now it's back to its elegant best. Ruth has expertly blended the new gold with the old, and the replacement mouldings are indistinguishable from the original pieces. The lantern has been adapted to house electric lighting and is now ready to illuminate any room.